Flavor of love. Romance didn't become messy on reality TV by accident. It became entertainment on purpose. The Bachelor. Love stopped being private and started being promised in front of cameras. Love Island. Dating turned interactive. The audience stopped watching and started deciding. 90 Day Fiancé. Love met borders, visas, and real consequences. Love is Blind. Attraction was removed. Vulnerability became an experiment. Too Hot to Handle. Hookups were punished. Self-control became content. This isn't a countdown. It's a history of how dating on television stopped being about romance and became culture. What changed? Early television romance was storytelling, scripted encounters, polite conversation, privacy protected. Modern dating TV is behavior engineering. Cameras don't just document relationships, they design them. When dating moved to reality television, 3 fundamental shifts occurred. Privacy became exposure. What happened between 2 people became content for millions. Choice became performance. Selecting a partner wasn't just personal anymore. It was theatrical. Dating became branding. How you loved on camera determined who you became off camera. Reality dating shows don't reflect how people love. They reshape how people perform love. And certain shows didn't just participate in this shift. They created it. Flavor of love. In 2006, VH1 launched a dating show centered around Flavor Flav, the eccentric rapper from Public Enemy. The premise was simple. 20 women competed for his affection, but the execution was chaos. This wasn't about compatibility. It was about elimination. Contestants were given nicknames. Fights were encouraged. The drama was rewarded with screen time. The show became known not for romance, but for spectacle. Women spitting. Physical altercations. Producers leaning into conflict rather than connection. The numbers proved it worked. Flavor of Love's Season 2 finale drew 6 million viewers, the highest rated series premiere in VH1 history. The show ran for 3 seasons. It spawned multiple spin-offs including I Love New York and Rock of Love, and it established a blueprint. Dating shows could prioritize entertainment over outcomes. Personality mattered more than connection. Chaos attracted more viewers than sincerity. The lasting change was clear. Dating shows became chaos-driven. Contestants became stars independent of whether they found love. Romance became a spectacle. This show didn't search for love. It discovered virality. The Bachelor. When ABC launched The Bachelor in 2002, it took the opposite approach. This wasn't chaos. This was fantasy. 1 man, 25 women, roses, eliminations, and a proposal at the end. The format was polished, aspirational, built around the idea that televised courtship could lead to marriage. The Bachelor didn't just create a show, it created an empire. The format now exists in over 30 countries, from Australia to Vietnam, from Germany to South Africa. The Bachelor franchise is valued at over $1 billion. Spin-offs followed. The Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise, Listen to Your Heart, The Golden Bachelor. The format worked because it tied love to achievement. Finding a partner wasn't just emotional. It was a goal, a finale, a televised proposal that validated the entire journey. Romance became aspirational theater. Being chosen on The Bachelor meant something beyond the relationship. It meant visibility, influence, a platform. The show normalized proposal culture on television. It made commitment a spectacle, and it established that dating shows could be both entertaining and respectable. Network television had found a way to make romance profitable without sacrificing prestige. The Bachelor didn't sell love. It sold the idea of being chosen. But what happened when the audience stopped just watching and started controlling outcomes? Love Island. When the British version relaunched in 2015, it introduced something reality TV hadn't fully exploited yet: audience power. The format was simple: young singles in a villa, constant coupling and recoupling. But here's what changed everything. The public voted. Viewers decided who stayed, who left, who deserved another chance. Love Island didn't just air daily during summer. It became a cultural event. In 2019, Love Island generated over 3 billion Twitter impressions during its summer run. Contestants gained millions of followers before the season even ended. Social media exploded with commentary. Memes were created in real time. Slang from the show entered everyday conversation. Contestants weren't just dating on camera. They were performing for an audience that controlled their fate. This shifted the entire dynamic. Dating turned into a live game. Authenticity competed with strategy. Every decision had to consider not just the person in front of you, but the millions watching. Love Island gave the audience power, and power changed everything. The show became interactive entertainment. Viewers weren't passive observers, they were participants. And contestants who understood this, who played to the camera while maintaining believability, became the most successful. Love Island proved that in the social media era, dating shows could be both intimate and massively public. Romance and virality could coexist. But while Love Island made dating a game, one show made it something else entirely. Something real. 90 Day Fiancé. When TLC launched this show in 2014, it introduced something most dating shows avoided. Real consequences. The premise was specific. Americans who met foreigners online had 90 days to marry before the K-1 visa expired. This wasn't fantasy, this was logistics. Immigration law, cultural negotiation, financial pressure, family disapproval. The relationships on 90 Day Fiancé weren't just tested by feelings, they were tested by reality. Language barriers, religious differences, economic disparities, all documented on camera. What made the show compelling wasn't just romance, it was stakes. These couples couldn't break up casually. Decisions had immigration consequences. Money was involved. Families were invested. The show exploded. By 2024, the 90 Day Fiancé franchise included over 20 spin-offs. Before the 90 days, happily ever after. The other way. Pillow Talk. It became TLC's most profitable franchise, generating hundreds of millions in revenue. And the lasting impact was clear. Dating shows could be serious. They could explore real-world challenges without losing entertainment value. Love stopped being fantasy. It became logistics. 90 Day Fiancé proved that audiences were interested in relationships that faced actual obstacles, not just emotional ones, but legal, cultural, and financial ones. Here, love wasn't tested by feelings. It was tested by reality. But in 2020, something unexpected happened. A show asked, what if we removed the one thing every dating show relied on? Love is Blind. When Netflix launched this show in 2020, it asked a question reality TV had avoided. What if we removed physical attraction entirely? The format was radical. Singles dated in pods. They could hear each other but not see each other. Proposals happened before they ever met face to face. This wasn't about eliminating looks. It was about prioritizing emotional vulnerability. Contestants had to expose themselves without the safety net of physical chemistry. They talked about trauma, insecurities, past relationships, family dynamics. The show turned dating into therapy-style television. And it worked. Love is Blind became Netflix's most watched reality series launch. Within the first month, it was viewed in over 30 million households globally. It sparked global conversation about attraction, connection, and what matters in relationships. The pods became iconic. The reveals became memes. The weddings became water cooler moments. The lasting change was psychological. Dating shows had always focused on surface-level dynamics. Who's hot? Who's dramatic? Who creates conflict? Love is Blind centered on emotional risk. It proved that vulnerability could be as compelling as drama. The show became the blueprint for Netflix-era dating experiments. Less spectacle, more introspection. Love is Blind didn't remove looks. It exposed emotional risk. Love is Blind removed attraction. The next show? It weaponized it. Too hot to handle. When Netflix launched this show in 2020, it flipped hookup culture on its head. The premise was simple but subversive. Attractive singles in a tropical villa. But physical intimacy was banned. Every kiss, every hookup reduced a shared prize fund. Self-control became the challenge. Growth was rewarded. Desire was penalized. This was reality TV for the influencer generation. Most contestants came from Instagram and TikTok. They were used to attention, used to getting what they wanted. Too Hot to Handle forced them to confront impulse control. The show included workshops. Emotional exercises, guided conversations about intimacy and vulnerability. It merged dating with self-branding. Contestants who showed growth gained favor. Those who broke rules were criticized. The show went viral globally. It trended in over 50 countries simultaneously. Contestants became influencers overnight. Some gained over 1 million followers during their season. It became a Gen Z phenomenon, and the lasting impact was clear. Dating shows could critique the very culture they emerged from. Too Hot to Handle didn't celebrate hookup culture. It was challenging. Discipline became a storyline. Personal development became content. This wasn't about love. It was about control in the age of attention. At this point, a pattern becomes clear. Dating television evolves with culture. Flavor of Love emerged during the celebrity reality TV boom of the mid-2000s. Chaos sold. The Bachelor arrived when marriage felt aspirational on network TV. Fantasy worked. Love Island launched in the social media era. Interaction became essential. 90 Day Fiancé reflected globalization and immigration anxiety. Real stakes mattered. Love is Blind arrived during the mental health awareness movement. Vulnerability resonated. Too Hot to Handle responded to influencer culture fatigue. Discipline became desirable. Each show didn't just entertain, it captured a cultural moment and amplified it. Cameras don't just reward behavior, they reshape it. Romance adapts to visibility, and the shows that understand this adaptation survive. The ones that don't, they disappear after one season. Not every dating show changes television. For every Bachelor, there are dozens of forgotten experiments. Chains of Love, Boy Meets Boy, Joe Millionaire, Average Joe, all tried, most failed. So why did these 6 last? The answer isn't love, it's behavior. The shows that survived didn't chase romance. They captured behavior patterns audiences recognized. Flavor of Love captured chaos. The Bachelor captured aspiration. Love Island captured participation. 90 Day Fiancé captured consequence. Love is Blind captured vulnerability. Too Hot to Handle captured discipline. Each show identified attention and how people relate to love publicly, and they built formats around that tension. The difference between fantasy and reality became content. The struggle between control and chaos became storylines. The choice between observation and participation became audience engagement. These shows didn't invent new emotions, they invented new ways to display them. And in doing so, they changed what audiences expected from dating on television. Romance wasn't enough. There had to be structure, stakes, a system. The shows that provided that system became institutions. Reality dating shows didn't ruin romance. They documented how culture changed it. Dating in private looks different than dating in public, and these shows made dating permanently public. They didn't create new relationship problems. They made existing ones visible. Jealousy, insecurity, commitment fear, performance anxiety, all of it existed before cameras arrived. But cameras made it shareable, analyzable, profitable. Love didn't disappear. It just learned how to exist on camera, and certain shows taught it how. Flavor of Love taught chaos. The Bachelor taught fantasy. Love Island taught interaction. 90 Day Fiancé taught stakes. Love is Blind taught vulnerability. Too Hot to Handle taught control. Together, they created a language for how romance performs in the age of constant visibility. That language is now permanent. Every new dating show references these formats, remixes them, reacts to them. Because these 6 didn't just change TV, they changed the culture of televised intimacy. These 6 shows changed dating forever. What's next in reality TV? Subscribe to find out. We analyze systems, not moments.